essentially what's been going on with me lately is we got through January.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No booze,
Got,
no booze 30.
well, that's
First run.
true. We got through the first run. We had essentially 200 people go through it. But it's been interesting because we use this tip model, the tipping model that we thought we wouldn't charge for it, and people can they can just do whatever they want, and then we'll tip them at the end. I want to do this, and it's been great. We got, I don't know, I thought it was $600 from about 200 people, but I don't even know how many of those people actually paid. I think like a small group, like the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
But that like 20% of the people, and that might not be right. The 80-20 rule it might be the reverse on this, right? Or is the 80-20 like 20% of your customers make 80% of your profits? Is that something like?
Mm-hmm.
So then that's what I'm guessing. It's probably straight. I would actually, it would be hilarious if you really calculated out. It might be that, which is cool because then if you divide it out, it looks like it would probably average about $30 a person, which is really what we wanted to charge. We figured we would charge about $29. There's a couple other programs out there, and guys are charging anywhere from $50 to $200, for like a 100-day program.
Mm-hmm.
And so Aaron and I have this dilemma where we keep going back and forth. Like, should we charge or should we keep it free? Because his theory is, well, maybe we would have less people go through the program. Right. And I agree with that. If we charge, we would have less people go through the program.
For sure you would.
But the funny thing is, it's like, would we make the same amount of money?
I don't think so. I like what you did this first month, and I definitely think you should give it another couple chances.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it like this was the first month. Okay, so if you guys, let's just throw numbers around. Let's just call it $500 first month, 200 people. Now, obviously, you pimped it the way that you did. You didn't go as crazy as you could have, not even close.
Yeah, we didn't do any marketing. I mean, we maybe spent $150 in marketing from like December 1st to January 1st. Tops, maybe not even probably.
So there you go. So what I would do is take this first group as a one-off, then do it again. See where you get this next time, then do it again. So now you have 3 different, runs of this program. If you're averaging like $400 or $500 a trip, you got 12 months. I mean, that's pretty good coin, really. Mm-hmm. And that's just your first run. And that's just based on tipping. And I'm going low, I'm going way lower than what you just said. And then I think that if you get the word spread, like I would encourage people to spread the word more than you do too. Like tell everybody, this is free. And the way that this works is I want you to go tell, you kind of did this in the PDF. Like I can't remember which day it was, but it was go tell somebody about this, or go post on your social media that you have, you actually have to post this and it says, I'm doing no booze 30. I think that you should try it, blah, blah, blah. I like that stuff. Push more of that because word of mouth will get you more than, trying to make sure that you get $30 per person. If you charged $1, but more people, did your advertising for you, you would end up making more money than you did if you charged $30 and you only had 3 people advertising for you.
You know what? That's true. No, I think it's funny though. Like if we have 200 people go through and they end up tipping 600, I don't know why 600 stuck in my head because at some point it was only 300. Sure. But I think somehow it found its way to 600 because you have the random guy that, Aaron probably makes more money than anybody I am friends with. He's a fraternity brother of mine. I don't want to speak his business, but good for him.
He's well off.
He's very well off. Yeah, he's a business owner, and I think that his group of friends, there's no reason why they wouldn't. They're all very successful. Be like, hey, dude, nice job. Here's $150. Like, and so that's, I don't know, because I haven't looked at all of the people that's the one thing that's cool. Like him and I we don't look at that every single day, but we do look at, and I need to ask you this. Did you get the survey?
I'll tell you what,
Because
it
in the last
was,
like 4 days, we sent one more tip email, and then a
yep,
day later we sent a SurveyMonkey
hang
email.
on real
And
fast.
I
I
think
have
so
this. It
far we've
says, I got the tip email. Congratulations, nice work. You completed No Boost 30. Super proud. Halfway through once more. If this program was of value, tip us. I didn't see the survey yet though.
really,
Hang on, let me look
because I
again
sent
here.
like 200 survey emails the other day, and only like 15 people or 16 people filled it out. And so
Really?
I don't know, because
Oh, here
maybe
we go. Here we go. Where is this? Wait a second. That's not what I clicked on.
I just
It
hope
did
you
say
got it.
something about SurveyMonkey right here. Hang on.
There should be a survey in there.
Yeah, that's weird because it just pulled up, but I didn't. Then it just disappeared. What the hell? Let me try again.
All right.
No.
So do you want me to just talk through it?
Yeah.
So, but the results are really good because we ask about um, if you liked it, did you do it with somebody, what, and then we put all these things like, did you have weight loss, did you have reduced anxiety, blah 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 blah, and they can check them.
Mm-hmm.
So then on the end we have this bar graphs, and then we asked like, did you read the manual, did you read the emails, did you like having the manual, would you be okay with maybe a text message from time to time, just to see these other things that we want to do.
Yep.
And overwhelmingly really good response, and so we're trying to get a little bit of feedback, but I was kind of a little disheartened with just only 15 replies, and so
That might be
I want to
why.
make sure it went out. So you're
Yeah,
not
because I
finding
don't
it?
see it. No, I don't see it. But when I search my emails, if I type in no booze, I get hello at noboost30.com via SurveyMonkey. But then if I click on that, nothing comes up.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, wait a second. That's Adorama. So that was a different company. I was looking maybe if I look under if it got stuck in my junk email or something, I wonder.
Yeah, you know what, I mean, it easily could have, but like SurveyMonkey you think would be better receive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It said recipients didn't get the email. Add us to your email whitelist to make sure your colleagues can receive your email if you're sending with a different domain. Yes, I
Maybe
wonder.
that might be it. It would be SurveyMonkey, you think, that would send the email out, right? Not you or
It
No
actually,
Booster.
I guess it could be coming from me. I don't know.
I'll do some more instead of boring everybody. What I'll do
Yeah.
is I'll dig through it a little bit more and I'll let you know. But
Okay.
I didn't see it yet, but it did something weird pulled up when I searched, so it's all good.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
I'll fill it out for sure. And then if I didn't get it, then that may be why you got a poor turnout, and maybe
Yeah.
you could repost it or repush it. But
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
I don't want to beat a dead horse on it, but you know what? It's like we got some really good feedback, and the cool part about it is, look, we created a program. We said we are going to do it. We put it out there. We got
yep,
people, over 200 people into the first class. A lot of
yes,
people like told us, like, poured their hearts out that it changed their life, and like,
I loved it.
amazing. And just the fact that we even got people through it on an idea that we had, that's a win. Then we
Exactly.
collected some money on they tipped us on a program that we weren't charging for. That's a win.
Oh
And now
yeah,
you're right. So now we're just gonna, we're torn between, look, we don't want to gouge anybody. We don't need to make, it would be great if this was my job. It would be great if all I did was go into groups and inspire people and help people get through it. And that could be money that I could make. And maybe we would get some speaking gigs or whatever.
I was
Yes.
just gonna say that could
Yeah.
happen in the future for sure.
And it would hopefully will. But it's this like, it's this thing where you're going to work every day and but you have this other passion that you're this thing you're really passionate about, and you're just like, God, I just want to do that, but you can't. So then you start thinking, well, shit, maybe if we charge, we can get there faster. That's what it
It's a
is.
fine line.
Yeah,
Here,
but
let me
that's
tell you.
like, in my
I'll
brain,
tell you
like
a
that's where
story.
it goes, like, hey, if we pump this up and I can make some money, then maybe I can decrease the stress of this day job and at least take stress from this thing, from this other thing, like that.
100%. That is the
But
goal. But
yeah,
let me tell you a story. There's
please.
There's video games. You love video games, right? You know, video games, played them all, you
Oh,
know, when you were younger.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you grew up on them. Everybody loved them. We were playing NBA jams and shit like that back in the day, and Madden and Tecmo Bowl and all that shit, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. They're huge. Um, and nowadays they're even bigger, you know, and it's even
Yeah.
crazier. It's even cooler. So the thing that blew my mind the most, I would say, in the past year was Fortnite. You know what Fortnite is, obviously.
A little bit,
So
yeah.
Fortnite is the most popular and most successful game of all time. It's hands down. There's nothing even close to it. And here's the craziest part about Fortnite. It's 100% free. They've never charged for it. They never will. You can download it for free. You can play it on any platform you want for free. And you don't have to pay a single penny to play this game ever. But the craziest part is it's made twice the amount of the most successful and most profitable game of all time. Billions with a B. That's how much money this game has made because it's free. That's why. So if you want it to be successful, I think the monetary thing just takes care of itself. What you need to
Agreed.
focus on is having something that's so cool and so interactive and so, like you said, helpful, life changing, addicting, but in a good way. All of those things, impactful. And then, like you said, you could either start to think about it like the Fortnite model and start to, you know, add little things in like add-ons. Think of it as an add-on. And it could be something as simple as, like you said, like a journal, like a no booze 30 journal that you can make and, you know, bulk and get them for 23 cents a piece. T-shirts, hats, stickers, patches, some sort of award, you know, keep the tipping model. You could do all kinds of different things like that, and just think of it, like I said, as an add-on, and just brainstorm that. And what you'll end up finding out is that people will wear your t-shirt, wear your hats, wear your stuff as badges. They'll put the stickers on their car. You know, you can even send out like you can even send some of that stuff out for free, or give them a coupon to purchase things at the store after they, you know, completed the course. You know, there's so many things you could do that you could, you know, reap revenue and make money off this without charging and keeping it free. And this way you'll get more visibility, you'll get more eyeballs, you'll get more people involved. And you can even kind of transform and you know, mold your program into something that's, like I said, interactive to the point to where you do some sort of form where it keeps you honest and you're filling something out in like a website or in some sort of application or something like that that you have on your phone eventually. There's so many places you could take this thing. It's just a matter of focusing on making it super cool, super interactive, having tons of affordance. Like people want to use your program, want to
Hmm.
tell other people about your program, and then that's where the money comes in. So a lot of people focus on the money, but then they end up getting cheap on things. They end up losing the creative direction or the creative inspiration. They lose the message. They lose the intent. They lose the heart. They lose that, you know, the
Yeah.
cool factor. All of that stuff gets thrown out the window. And that's why I used Fortnite as my example, because the game is free, but it's the most successful, most profitable game of all time. There's something there. Just research that. Just go and
Yeah.
Google why is Fortnite free, but it's the most successful game of all time, and they'll explain why. You know, it's super cool, and
No,
it blew
man,
my
that's
mind.
really cool.
That's it's one of the coolest things of all time, and it's ingenious. And now every game is free, and every game does the Fortnite model because no one can touch that.
See, man, and that's what we knew from the beginning, and that's what I will tell. That's what I usually will tell people too. Like, even in the Positive Life company, when my business partner is, you know, very good at business, but
Hmm.
she is so she operates on this part from a part of fear, and she knows it. She'll say it, but I'm
Of
like,
course,
look,
everyone
why don't
kind of
we give
does.
away? Why don't we give away what we're doing right now? And she's like, oh my God, no way. I'm like, why don't we give it away? I'm like, she's like, no way, no way, no
Yep.
way. She can't get there. She's slowly getting there. Usually she's about a year behind on my ideas because we're unfortunately, but we're
It's
coming
all
around, and
good.
that's okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay because she's coming around now wants to do these ideas that I presented a year ago. She's like, look, Joel, I know you're going to kill me, but I think your idea on X and X and X is a good one. And I was like, that was a year ago, but that's fine.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And now she's like, maybe we should, give it away. And I'm like, but not all of it. And so she's getting there. But I would encourage people to do that too, because if you build it, people will come. But the one thing with this type of a program is what people will tell you. And now I think it's just a marketing ploy for people to sell things, is that if people don't have any skin in the game, they won't do it. Like, since it's free, they're like, whatever. But if they paid a couple $100, they're going to pay attention because they paid for it. Now, in that world, because how many programs have you paid for in the past that were $99 or were $97 and you just blew them off?
None.
Oh, see,
maybe a handful. I was going to say maybe a handful.
There's got to be a couple in there that maybe you didn't pay $100, but maybe you paid $49 for that. You kind of dabbled in, and then something else caught your eye, and then you felt like you got behind, and fuck it. About a handful. So, yeah, that probably happens. So that's what a lot of the people were telling us, that nobody's going to do this because they have no skin in the game. Now, if that's the case, $29 isn't enough skin anyway. So unless we're going to charge $200, which we're not, then we should keep it free.
Hang on. Wife, you going to bed? Hang on real fast, Mr. Pilker.
Yeah.
I just got to say goodnight to the wifey here. Mwah. You going to take the mutt with you?
Mutton.
Yeah. He follows mom around like a trained dog.
Like a trained
yeah. But yeah, you're right.
You're right.
I think the skin in the game thing is definitely a factor, but I would just implore you to think about it a little bit different. Just there's ways around that to be clever rather than blunt. And I think what'll keep people you have to sell that your program already has their skin in the game. Like, you've already paid me to get into this program because you're at a point now where you need to quit booze for 30 days because it's obviously affecting you and you're coming here for guidance. So you already have skin in the game. Now I'm going to help you, and I'm going to take that currency that you're giving me, which is your time. You're giving me 30 days. You're already giving me money. You're already giving me currency. So now you got skin in the game. You're giving me 30 days. Yeah. And if you don't complete these 30 days, you're booted from the Facebook group. Like I said, you don't get this reward, whatever it is. You don't get to the coupon for the store, or you don't get the medal that you're giving out like a Spartan race. You don't get to, your graduate certificate. You don't get to reap the benefits of being clean for a month. You have to sell that.
Yeah, that's good.
The money doesn't sell it. You sell it.
That's true. So that there's a few things I'm hung up on. So for anybody, who's thinking about trying to launch something like this and was listening to the show, actually, you think about, you have to be engaged. The people that are the talent or that create it, like myself and Aaron, we have to be engaged. And we've been engaged in the group, I thought, pretty well. And Aaron has surprised me. And I've told him, like, dude, you're so busy. He did 48 flights last year, 48 from back and forth. And some other ones mixed in there, but Chicago to Montana. And with the company he's got 4 kids and a wife, and he still gets in there and he still talks and helps people out and is like commenting and stuff like that. I'm so excited, but I'm trying to figure out like what that structure is, because today, people can start whenever they want. So there's people, I look in there now, there's people on day 24, there's people on day 4, there's people on day 13. Love it. So I figured what I'm going to do is pretend that I don't know, that's where I want your advice here, is always think that they're on the day of the month that they are. So everybody's always starting on the 1st.
Yep.
So
I remember you saying something like this last time.
Yeah. So today I just went in the group about right after we got off the phone earlier, and I did a Facebook live in the group. And I said, hey, this is day 6. And whatever. And so is that how you think, at least for now, I should handle that? And then but I have to do I let them know that I'm going to be here at a certain day at a certain time, like twice a week, that I'll be live so that they can't? Okay. So I'll just say, look, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be live for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to come in
keep
here
it
and
short.
talk, you know, keep it
Yep.
short.
But be consistent, because if they're expecting you, I mean,
I can do
at
that.
all
I mean,
costs, you
that.
have to be there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you and I, you know, sometimes I
It's okay.
allow
There's
life to get in the
flexibility.
way.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
as
don't
you can
mind it,
tell,
because we talk for 2 hours, dude, not 10 minutes.
well, that's true.
You know, that's
Yeah,
totally
you can't
different.
just sneak it in. But like, as you can tell with my, you know, podcast show, I mean, I'm really proud of the consistency that I've put in there. Even though it's only
huge.
5 minutes, it's
It
the
doesn't
fact of
matter.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking
I
a
was,
picture is a lot less time than that, and I didn't knock out a year in my entire year, you know, taking an instant picture thing. I didn't end up finishing it,
how
but I
many days did
convinced
you get?
I was like 3/4 of the way through. I don't remember exactly how many, but I remember selling to myself that I had gotten out of it what I wanted, and I was okay to let it go, which was the stupidest thing of all time. I
You're going
should
to
have
have
just
to do it
finished it to
again. You
finish
know
it.
that, don't you?
Of course, exactly. And and that's why I was so pumped about the podcast and knocking out 52 episodes of the podcast too,
That's
because,
so great.
you know, when I look back now and I look at, like, you know, the whole entire journey, because you could see all the stats, and they just came out with this really cool a revamping of that whole Buzzsprout stats thing, and which is awesome. And you can get so much more data and mine so much more info out of it. It's great. But just seeing like how it, you know, it went from like 58 listens in the first 3 months to like 6,500 and shit. It's just mind blowing, man.
Yeah.
And 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 I love it to the point to where, like I was saying, I give stuff away for free. I don't require you to tag a friend. I don't require you to buy anything. I don't require you to you know, to do anything but just tell me that you're in, you know.
Yeah.
I love, you know, pimping obviously my store. Like, I have a store that I set up that I can sell little wares like t-shirts, camera straps and all that stuff, just because, like you said, I wanted to make some sort of cash just to put it back into the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And I haven't done too crazy with that. I've made a couple $1,000s on the store, but, you know, it's not life-changing money. But I was just doing it because, like you said, I wanted to see how it works. I wanted to see how it all works out, and how, you know, it how successful it would be, how hard it is, the shipping, you know, the making of the product, the posting of the product, you know, reception, how to list it, how to pimp it, how to advertise it, how to, you know, make it better, all that stuff. You know, get it into people's hands so that they can, you know, wear it on your podcast. Or, you know, my buddy George, he wore it on his podcast, and while he was streaming live video games, he was wearing my shirt. And I thought that was cool as shit. And it's just like little stuff like that, because I just give them away. You know, it's just like, hey, if somebody asks where you got that shirt, that's better advertising than me spending, like you said, $100 on Facebook. Or if somebody asks, you know, hey, George, you know, what was that shirt you were wearing while you were on your podcast? And 5 people ask that, you know, I'm going to get, you know, maybe 5 sales, or someone's going to go to my store and buy a camera strap too, or a hat, or maybe they don't buy anything, but then they start listening to my podcast, or they go to my Instagram page, or they go to
Yeah.
my website, or whatever. You just keep avenues open for things to happen. And then, like I said, over time, everything morphs. Like right now, what we're doing and how we're talking and our whole setup, one day will end up being like where I'm in some sort of room, you're in some sort of room that's completely dedicated. We have way better speakers and microphones and shit set up. We have, you know, a way better system. But for right now, this is perfect because we're learning how to talk to each other. We're learning how to record this. We're going to learn how to edit it. We're going to learn how to post it. We're going to learn how to advertise it. We're going to learn how to monetize it. We're going to learn how to do all that shit. But it takes time. You know, no one does anything in a day. Like, that was one of the things I'm reading right now. I'm reading Doctor Sleep by Stephen King. It's part 2 of The Shining. So it just came out, the movie and everything too. But they were just talking about this picture in this guy's office, and ironically enough, it's an Alcoholic Anonymous chapter where the guy is trying to get off of booze, and he goes to his boss, who's a former alcoholic or recovering alcoholic, because you're never really former. And he tells him to go to AA, but then he's got this gigantic picture in front of his desk, and it's of a wave hitting a mountain, or like hitting the shore, which is real mountainy or mountainous. And it just says underneath, you know, nothing happens in a day. even waves, carving out this shoreline, and eventually it will, but it takes fucking millions of years for that water to erode that shoreline and actually move the earth. But it happens. Like, the earth actually changes, and you don't really see it because it happens so slow. But if you just keep beating on that shoreline, it changes.
Dude, that's
You
when
gotta
like
keep beating on that shoreline, bro.
that's true. That's true. And it's too many times you second guess yourself along the way, and you need somebody to just say, like, keep it steady. When we were at the Grand Canyon, I thought about that. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Greatest
This
place to
river,
think about that.
this river just
carve
cut.
this shit out.
How long does that take? You're just like looking down. You're like, then you start thinking back, because you see how high it is. And there's this shelf.
5,000, 10,000 feet or something crazy, dude.
It's really, it's really high. So then you think, okay, well, so the ice caps melted, right? And then it was like a big
glacier,
river, glacier water like running down. But still, so that, okay, figure that's just running, that's running. And even that, like, even if there was like the Mississippi River was like carving, like, think about there you go. Think about the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
That's carving.
Yep.
That's right now it's carving.
But it doesn't have the same path. So like the Mississippi River is surrounded by soft, fertile land, and that was surrounded by hard, jagged rock. So it was able to like keep that water in more of a channel, which allowed it then to cut even further. The Mississippi River, when it goes over, it just splays out. It doesn't have that focused fucking carving, and that's a great point right there.
That's really, that is a good point, dude. But also that makes me think, how come one day, billions of years from now, the Mississippi River will be maybe
I don't think it could.
You're right.
It doesn't have the restraints, the focus.
Have the focus. The Mississippi River will never be. It's not focused.
It's too lazy.
You unfocused.
It's too lazy. It's so lazy. It's bloated. It's
so lazy.
It's a lazy whenever it gets to the point to where it could make some progress, it just throws up all of the water all over the farm fields.
Yeah, it just relaxes out.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Just boom, just lets out its belt and just.
It's just like, you know what? That's funny, man. That's really funny.
Yeah, nothing is containing it. It just takes over everything around it. But that Colorado River had it. That focus. It was contained. The power was like pushed. And it was all right there, and that's what allowed that thing to happen. But that's the best place to contemplate that shit.
Oh, it was beautiful. Cool as Colorado. Yeah. So we got So what happened was we took January. In January, my thought was, because this is where I was going to go when you flipped it to no boost 30, which is perfect. But so my thought was, we take January, we plan.
Yeah, you were just talking January.
Yeah, January is a plan. Now, right? Planning month, because I kept saying before, like, you don't plan in December for
in general for everything, though. You're saying,
right? Yeah, like, well, yeah. So like, you don't, because you had said this on one of your shows that look, hey, why not just start your New Year's resolutions on December 15th or whatever it was, just start them. Like, you don't have to wait for them. Just do it, right? And I used to think that too. I used to say, hey, everybody, if you're gonna start your resolutions and you're starting to plan them December 15th, just start them in December 15th, so that like when January comes, you already lost 10 pounds or whatever it is, right?
And you're 2 weeks in, baby.
But then I thought, but that's not fair to December, because December is party. It's like, God, we made it to December. It's Christmas. It's whatever you celebrate.
End of the
year. Let's go out and and enjoy all of the struggles that we did, and we made it through. We made it here to another Christmas season or whatever you celebrate.
Finish it off with a bang.
Finish it out, do your New Year's, then take January and see what kind of vibe the New Year has. Because good things started happening for us right away in January. And so it's like, it's got this vibe. It's like, who do I want to be this year? So then I take January. This is for me. And I take January and I plan and I say, okay, this is the vibe that's coming. These are the things that are going to be important to me this year. And then February 1st, I start the new me. I don't start like, hey, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I need to figure out who I'm going to be. And I can't take December to think about that, because I have to enjoy everything that just transpired.
Sure. I like all
that. So that's kind of my new thing. And so I got a bunch of the stuff down that I want to do. that it's going to be all about consistency. And this year is going to be dedicated to lifting weight.
Oh, okay.
Moving weight. I don't need to be, and I love this guy. I don't need to be Timaholic, how we used to know Timaholic. I know he's a little smaller now, but I want to bring his name into the show because I love him. And I don't need to be, like that dude. And because he was a strong, but I do want to, I have a physique that could be that.
Everyone does.
Want it to be, everyone does. You're true. That's right.
True.
I just want to be strong, and I want to be proud of the way that I feel, about that. So that's like one. But what I was going to say is, so that's kind of that. At the end of March, I'm really excited because I'm March 31st. Well, around that weekend, I have booked out my review of my cards. One of my rules was, because I'll show you guys, they're everywhere. I have no cards everywhere.
Okay, you're still doing it.
And this is just what I love the note card because it's manageable. They fit in your pocket, and you can't write too much down. So you can have some
almost
notes.
like Twitter.
Yeah, and one side has lines, and the other side doesn't, which is cool. Because this is structured, and this you can draw on or whatever.
Order and chaos, baby.
We have to have our own note cards. But you encouraged me to then take like stock every quarter and look at these cards. So at the end of March, I'm going to do that, and I'm really excited because I'll take some pictures of how that goes down.
It's just like picking fruit out of a garden, man. You go out there and you see what grew, and you pick those out, and you use those.
Dude, you're so right. And what we do have out there, you can't see it at night, is we have grapefruit trees out back.
Nice, I love it.
I do not like, but hey, I want to.
You don't like grapefruit?
No, I really don't, man. But I'll make myself like them. Kind of like beer. I mean, I never liked beer, but fucking hey, you made that shit work.
Oh, for sure.
So I picked up one of these magazines the other day. It's Time, the Science of Stress. So like, I love magazines.
Recent, or is that old school?
Actually, no, 12, 13, 19.
Yeah, no, that's not that bad.
And these are really overpriced. This was $15, which
so
you could find them online. But
it's all good.
So there's this guy in here, this tightrope guy who you may have seen over the years. Let me see how I can get it.
Yeah. What's his name?
Like driving a boat with a trailer, or driving a truck with it's like driving a boat with a trailer on it. It's like the reverse. His name is Philippe Petit. He's this French guy that walked between the Twin Towers. He's a really famous guy, but he's not the Spider-Man guy, I don't think. So anyway, he says,
I'm trying to think of that guy. Right.
Here's this awesome quote, which I think is really cool. He goes, "A clever tool in the arsenal to destroy fear. If a nightmare taps you on the shoulder, do not turn around immediately expecting to be scared. Pause and expect more. Exaggerate. Be ready to be very afraid, to scream in terror. The more delirious your expectation, the safer you will be when you see the reality that is much less horrifying than what you had envisioned. So now turn around. See, it wasn't that bad, and you're already smiling."
Well,
which I would think is really cool.
Yes, I would say definitely do that if you're not a paranoid schizophrenic, or if you don't have insecurity issues, because those people might be frozen in terror. But yeah, I mean, if you have a little bit of confidence going into that, I think that everybody kind of does that kind of anyway, right? They always hype things up way worse than it is, and then they go through the process and it's not that bad.
That I think that you're right. And that's really interesting. That's like reminds me of maybe going through a haunted house. I hate them. Jenny hates them, but like, you're so scared, but like if you flipped the lights on, it wouldn't be a big deal. It would look, depending on how good of a one it was, you would be like, yeah, that looks pretty creepy, if it's a doll or whatever you're afraid of. But I did enjoy that. It's like, over exaggerate what you think it's going to be, because it's not going to be that. And I don't think we do. I think we get scared to a point, but we don't ever think like, oh my God, I'm going to get shot right in the face right now. Oh, it's and you know what I mean? But now I'm stuck, because you do make a good point. We do that. Here's a funny story. I was camping with my cousin, And my cousin had used to have this really big pool in Southern Illinois, and it was an oval pool. And they took the cover when they got rid of the pool, and he wrapped it around 3 big branches out in the middle of their farm, in the middle of the forest, and made a teepee.
Nice.
You know, he had a teepee, and I was like, what the hell? And it was the pool cover. I was like, oh my God. And funny thing, and it had a hole kind of in the side, and that's where, and they had a big fire pit in the middle. It was a huge teepee. And, but they accidentally threw gas on it because they thought the fire was going to go up, and blew a hole out the side. And he's like, well, there's the chimney, whatever. There's a big hole in the side. So him and I are sleeping out there in the middle of the night. We went out camping, and it's in the middle of nowhere on their farm.
That's crazy.
And that's just what they do. He's like 2 years younger than me, and he's hunter, sells beaver pelts. You know, I think I might have mentioned back in the day to China and to do all the stuff.
Oh,
but he's just a country boy. So we're out there sleeping. We're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like fucking scared. I'm like, oh my God. You know, I wake up in the middle of the night. He's sleeping like a bump on a log, and I hear something walking out there. And I'm like, oh shit, dude. I like hear it. It's definitely walking around out there. And I mean, we are in the thick of it. Of the woods. Like there are things out here. And so I was like, holy shit. I'm like, Justin, dude, Justin. And like, he's not waking up. I'm like, oh my God. And it's coming right around the door, right by the door. Right around the door walks a puppy beagle, like this big, like a little puppy. It's just like, comes walking in.
Couldn't be any more innocent or like, you know, non-factor.
The complete opposite of whatever. I thought it was a bear.
You were thinking bear.
I was like, oh my God, it's a fucking bear.
You were thinking Jason Voorhees.
Oh my God.
You were thinking Michael Myers.
And that's like the epitome of this. Because I was like, it's a bear. Holy shit. What are we going to do? I have a knife. That's it. He has a gun somewhere, but like, you know.
Look, everybody, that's, have you ever seen a barn owl, like a baby barn owl?
Probably when I was on his farm, but it's been a while.
You would know what I'm talking about if you had. I want you to Google search what a baby barn owl looks like.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, if you see like baby barn owl in attic, search that. And if you popped your attic open and you popped your head in there and you saw you would swear to God that you saw aliens. Am I not right?
These are real?
Yeah. Look up baby barn owl in attic. And I'm telling you, I swear to God, I'm like, that's every single alien sighting of all time. They were baby barn owls in somebody's attic, or they were out in the woods or something like that, and they thought they were aliens. They were baby barn owls, dude. But like a lot of people will see a squirrel and they'll think it's a fucking wolf. But because, you know, from distance, this is it. Look at that shit. Tell me that's not the creepiest thing you've ever. Look at that. Tell me that's the creepiest thing you've ever seen.
They're standing up like it's no big deal.
Yeah, those things look like they're here for your kids.
Owls mistaken for aliens. Oh yeah, dude, you're so right.
Telling you.
If that thing came around the corner, I would have fucking lost it.
And it's a baby owl that wouldn't hurt a fly. You know what I mean?
That's so funny, man.
Right.
But I like that. You know, you made his quote not sound so profound, but in the moment, I'm like, this is great. But I think you know what?
I like it. I
like it too.
He's pretty much saying something like this. If you train yourself to be tougher than the worst case scenario, then the worst case scenario can't hurt you. So like, for example, especially with him, if he probably had a fear of fucking heights at one point.
Oh God.
And he decided to do this. He overcame the fear of heights by going next level over, you know, fear of heights type of deal. Like, that's my point, is like, if you're afraid of, you know, swimming, you know, like, or water or something like along those lines, then literally you should go off the highest high dive, or learn how to go off the highest high dive, because then everything else is just mundane to you, because you've already conquered this like really crazy fear. Now you can work on just doing the front stroke or the doggy paddle, and you've already jumped off a 40-meter platform, you know, or like, or 10 meter, 40 meters, a little crazy, 10-meter platform. But like anything like that, if you're afraid of running, or if you don't like to run, like we were talking about, then go out and run a marathon. I just literally just say, I'm going to go out and run a marathon. I'm not going to train at all, and I'm going to go do it. And if you can do it, even if you're walking across the finish line, or if you run or whatever, or if it takes you 10 hours to do it, now running a mile doesn't seem like it's fucking anything. You could do that no problem. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what he meant.
No, dude, I think you're right. And a lot, and so reading some, I think you're right. And it's funny because I get on my mom's case because she's such a worrier. She was just here for 2 weeks and she's such a
Sure.
worrier. And she cracked me up because she was like, oh my God, I can't find my oxygen, because she has this little portable oxygen thing. She's like, oh, I think I
Yep.
left it at the airport. Oh my God. Oh my God. She was like, oh my God. And
Right.
I was like,
No, no,
Mom,
no, 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 no. The wheels start spinning.
I'll go
Everything gets
get it.
crazy.
I live 15 minutes away, 10 minutes away from the airport. I'll go get it. Oh my God. Where's it at? Oh my God. And then she's like sitting in the car. I was like, it's right there by your leg. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there it is. I'm like, see, you worried for nothing. She's like, see, I worried, but it was there. And then it was there. So because I worried, it was theirs, like what she was saying. I'm like, no,
That's
that's
not
not.
how it works.
She's
Yeah.
like, because I worried, it was there. I was like,
No.
she was just kind of joking. I'm like, see, or I said, well, you didn't have to worry. She's like, see, and I'm like,
No.
no. That's not the
Yeah.
point.
I think a
So
lot of people end up getting in bad situations with depression and like anxiety, and they end up closing themselves off from the world because they think that that is what works. Like they're like,
yeah,
oh, I get anxiety. We talked about this a little bit. I get anxiety when I go to the grocery store. I'm never going back to the grocery store.
oh
Oh, I
yeah,
get anxiety if I go to this place. I'm never going back to this place. Eventually, you're going to get anxiety everywhere because it's not the place, it's you. And then you end up cooping yourself up in the house, and then the house ends up becoming your source of anxiety, and you go insane and you kill yourself.
and pretty
So I
soon you
mean,
can't go anywhere. Yeah,
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 that's my
you're right.
point. And even
Yeah,
your house becomes your own prison because now your house is causing you anxiety, and you have nowhere to go because you've already eliminated all your options because they all cause anxiety. So
dude,
I
that's
think that that's a
nuts.
huge point. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the problem is they'll say, oh, that's what worked, when actually it didn't work. It's preventing you from growing and from moving past that hurdle. You, like you said, you have to look even further than that. You have to look up beyond that hurdle. And then you were able to quickly process that whole nightmare and say, so what? If you left it at the airport, I'll just go get it.
yeah,
That's what people can do that kind of don't have that anxiety problem. They can immediately play all the chess pieces out and play the whole scenario out in a second and just be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. We'll just go get another one, or
see,
we'll
and
just
so
ask for it.
to play on that, we got Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Michael
baby.
Jordan said, people don't believe me when I told them I practiced harder than I played, but it was
Of
true.
course.
He goes,
Yeah.
that's where my comfort zone was created. By the time the game came, all I had to do was react to what my
Yep.
body was already doing. I believed every time I was the best. And the more shots I hit, the more it reinforced that. So when you miss, because no matter how great you are, you will miss. You don't waver
Yep.
because you've built yourself a nice little cushion of confidence. And the confidence can
Mm-hmm.
come from going out of the house. It can come from going back into work when you maybe think you made a fool of yourself the day before,
Or you got
or
in a fight with somebody
or
or
you got
whatever.
in a
Yeah.
fight with somebody. It is,
Boss hates
you know,
you, all this stuff.
then the next girl, one more. There's two. The one is the gymnast, and the gymnast says, like, I don't think about my routine at all because it stresses me out. So I don't think about it at all. I just talk to the crowd. I think about pizza, whatever I'm thinking about. Then I just go out and do it,
Yep.
which is like this. So I was so proud of this at work. Like last year, we had a dunk tank outside. And I was telling
Oh,
Jay,
yeah. I remember you telling me about this.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like somebody, threw a ball and he hit the thing and it was like bing. And like the ball hit the ground and it was rolling back and it was rolling back slow. And it was like my turn to go next. And I was like, I'm not going to just stand up there, whatever. So I kind of like, as the guy back on, and like, the ball was still rolling back, I kind of like walked in, shuffled, grabbed the ball, like saw it, and I was like, boom. And it was like, bam, boom. And the guy fell down and people were like, ah,
Yeah.
because
And
it
like
just
you did
looked
it,
cool.
but it
Because I
was
just did it like,
instinctual.
yeah, like
Yeah.
instinctual. Right. And
Yep.
it's like that, I think, is key. I think it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask you this. So the gymnast talks about that. Then there's a lady in here who she does she's like on Broadway.
Yep.
And she says how nervous she is. She's like, I can't believe how nervous I am. She goes, because I'm so alone, even though I have a team. She goes, but I have to remember, like, I'm literally a Disney princess because she's playing the Frozen character.
Sure.
And she goes, with an incredible husband and a supportive and loving family and best friends in the world, but I still feel broken. She's like, but I'm not broken and neither are you. But what I'm trying to say in this is these people they're the top of their game, but they're putting themselves in the position to be nervous. And we used to be nervous when we would play in the big game or when maybe you're in a fishing tournament and the clock's running out. So like you're putting
Talk
yourself in
about
that
nerves.
position,
Jesus.
right? and you have to catch a fish, but like catching a fish is like also about patience, but probably not to you. It's more about technique and about being in the right spot and
You're
using the right
nailing it.
lure. But it's
But you
like
start to speed up, and then that makes it your odds go down.
up.
And then you start to make mistakes because you feel the clock, and then you have to constantly keep reminding yourself, slow down even more than you think you have to, because you're moving way faster than you actually think you are on top of that. So I have to slow down almost to a crawl. And like I remember I would start to do this game when I would, get down to like the last hour or two of a fishing tournament. I'd cast the lure out there. Usually it's a jig by then because I'm just grinding the jig. And I would cast it out there and I would let it sink all the way to the ground. And you can tell when it sinks because your line will stop sinking.
Yeah.
And then once it hits the ground, what I would do is I would go 1, 2, 3, and then I would reel
Let it
1,
hit again or no?
2, 3. No, I would reel 3 times. Then I would stop, and I would just sit there until I couldn't take it anymore. And usually by then I would already hook up, and I would catch the fish or the 2 fish that I would need. And sometimes guys on the back of the boat would be asking me, they're like, "How the fuck do you always do that?" And I go, when the pressure gets turned up, I know that that's when I have to slow down, like almost painfully, like to the point to where I might make 4 more casts in those 2 hours, but that's what's going to get the job done in those last 2 hours. When I made 250 in the first 6, you know, you have to slow down so much, because
That's
otherwise
so
you're like,
true. And that's like
the lure never gets into the range, into the strike zone. It never ever gets in there. So you just wasted 2 hours because you're trying to hustle because you're running out of time, and you feel the clock and your heart starts beating. Yeah, it's nuts. And then you want to get it really crazy, hook up, and then have that fish come off, and you see it, and it's huge, and that fish breaks off or spits your jig or something. You want to talk about freaking anxiety, pressure, depression, craziness all wrapped up in one. That's it. Like your blood pressure's through the roof. I can't even read tie because I'm shaking so bad after something like that. It's insane.
Dude, that's so cool. I mean, that to me is golf, because the worst thing you can do is speed up in golf. You can start swinging too fast.
Yeah.
You can just swinging too fast, I think is the big deal. It's like your tempo totally speeds up. Although I want to start implementing the way I bowl and the way I throw the baseball into the way I golf, where I see the shot, I grab the club, I know what I want. I can already judge. You just know innately how it's going to come out, the wind and everything, and I just take it and go, instead of being like, okay, set up, calm, pause. Now, sometimes that does work because it helps me make sure that I'm aligned up and everything. But man, I just played golf this past weekend with Mikna, who I was really wanted to do that call on Monday because he was here.
Oh, yeah.
But
the Waste Management Open, right?
Yeah, he had been here that weekend, and then he was here Monday, but I had to go into work, and then he was gone by that night. But I kept telling him, I was like, hey man, I do this call with Tony Jones. He's like, fuck Tony Jones, man, I love that guy. He's like,
I haven't seen him in a while because they stopped doing fantasy football with us.
Oh yeah,
him and Leopold were teammates.
Oh, why did they stop?
It was it had to do with the draft date from last year or something. And I told Mick, I was like, if you ever want to get back in, just let me know. I'll pick somebody out. I don't care.
Dude, he's so great, man. He's just a good man.
Yeah.
Another very, very, very successful individual.
That's what it's all about.
He's very organized. So I'm looking at taking this year, and I'm still a little crazy because I have too many things going on and I'm not organized well enough, but we're getting there. You know what I struggle with right now is like, okay, so like my podcast that I do every day on the way to work. I did what I thought that I wanted to do last year. Like I committed to it and I did it.
Yep.
And now I'm kind of like, what's the point? I'm not sure what the point is, because I think maybe I just figured it out, because I because I don't know what I was like, well, what's the point? Like, to me, it's like, if it's not generating me income, or if there's not a product at the end of it, then what am I doing? But I'm developing me. I'm developing my thoughts. I'm developing me as a speaker. I'm developing, you know, being on, like, so there is something going on there. So I guess maybe now I will keep it, but I've toyed with dropping it. But it's not hard to do. It's really easy to do. I struggle with topics. So
Everyone
I don't
does.
know. Yeah.
What
So
I
maybe
would,
I'll just,
what I would,
I don't
I
know.
was going to say, what I suggest you do is I suggest you try to define what value is for you. So it seems to me like there's always a monetary value on stuff. Like, you know, you said it's not going to make me money, or it's not going to make, you know, there's not a product at the end. You said the same thing about No Boost 30. Um, I mean, even the show we're doing right now, one of the reasons why I would love to just put them all up on YouTube, and like I said, just pimp it through my IG channel or my Twitter, or, you know, whatever I can do, and whatever you can do too. But it's just because we're going to get something monetary wise. As long as we hit 10,000 views, eventually that'll happen. It's, even if it takes a year, even if it takes 2 years, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And eventually you get all the way up to that point where you start making some money, and the residuals never stop. So if that's you know what value is, then yeah, that's the end game. And if there's no value there, then you stop doing it. So if you want to make money off the podcast and you're not making money off the podcast, then definitely stop and refocus your time to something that you can actually monetize. And maybe you're just not thinking of the value correctly. That's why I suggested that you reevaluate what value is to you. So you might be getting more value out of things than you realize. It's just not money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value to be had in things that don't concern money. Just remember that.
Well, no, and that's true, but that is where my brain goes, because at the end of the day, things are taking my time away from, you know, things. Now that show barely takes me any time, and it's in the car. This,
even better.
I don't care about the monetary value right now, because the value in me is connecting with you and having these awesome talks. Like, I love these. Like, I don't care about that. So it's different, because I feel
And
like
we're
the
gonna
other stuff,
monetize this. Don't worry.
we will.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, I feel like I'm like out on this island, just kind of by myself. Like, am I doing it right? I'm not
That's
marketing
necessary.
it. You know, because you had said, dude, one thing I said, you have any advice? And you're like, yeah, market it. You don't market your show at all. Like, you post it to Facebook one time and then that's it. And like, that's not going to, you know, so then I started doing the live videos again. I'm doing the 60-day challenge because I was getting views. So maybe I need to start telling people to check out my Anchor show.
Yes. Tell them.
I can't believe I don't even think of that.
Every single time that you go on the air, whether it's recorded, whether it's live, whether it's, you know, written, you should pimp everything that you possibly can. That's why I'll, like, in the middle of me talking on the podcast, and it's not even me really pimping anything, I'll just say something like, hey, don't forget, you know, if you can remember what the name of the host was for this show, email me at Orion the Hunter Photography at, you know, or email me at orionthehunter22@gmail.com. And while you're at it, you know, stop by my website, which is also orionthehunter.com. I got my, you know, my stores up there. You can check out my stuff. I do that every once in a while. Like, I'll segue into like a straight, you know, like, you know, pimping session for a minute of, you know, just what I'm doing or my wares at that point. And I got that because I see everybody else do it. So they're not necessarily saying this is a commercial, but they just segue into, support me. I'm going to go do a live music show over at Rocky Vander's tonight, or, you know, next Saturday. Come out there and support me. It's $5 at the door. You know, you're not selling it necessarily. You're just imploring support from people and saying, this is what I do, and I want your support. You know, I don't want your money. I want your support. And if, you know, if that costs $5 at the door, people will be willing to do that. You know, so, you know, support is what you're really looking for. And then you explain it to them. Say, I don't want to do the Patreon thing. I don't want to panhandle. I'm not passing around the Sunday basket or whatever that thing is called, the Sunday plate, you know, and begging for money. I just need, I want you guys to support me because you like what I do, because you guys like hearing me bullshit, because you like seeing my ugly mug pop up live every once in a while on Facebook or on Instagram or something like that. Just
Yeah.
support me, man, so I can keep doing it. And you know what? Here's the craziest part. I challenge all of you guys out there to do something this year that you want to do too. You do a podcast, you do some sort of YouTube channel, you do something like that. And here's the craziest part. I'm going to support you. I'm going to go to your This is what I told my buddy Joe Wood, who's he loves my photography. He always supports me with like all the little adventures and passion projects that I have. And then he tells me, he's like, oh, I'm going to be over at this place I'm going to play. The band's playing there. And I was the only guy that showed up that was like, one of his buddies from the workplace back in the day, and a bunch of our friends. And he's like, oh, that's super cool that you showed up and nobody else did. I go, Joe, you support me on all the different little bullshit that I do. It's only right that I come here and support you in return, dude.
Yeah, man.
And if it means paying $20 at a door to see you play, and me, smile in front row there, and you can see me and I'm supporting you and I'm there and I'm engaged, dude, I'll do that all day long.
Yeah,
So
man.
tell everybody else, I will support you. If you support me, it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
And in fact, I want you to go out and make a podcast, and I want you to become super famous. I want you to become super successful. And I'll help you with anything that you want. I'll tell you how I do it, what mics I use, what, software I use, all that shit, how I take my notes, whatever you need from me, I will give it to you. Because you know what? If you become successful, then maybe you'll have me on as a guest. And I'm not looking at it like that, though. I'm just saying, I want you to be successful. I want you to do your own thing, and I'll support it all day long.